Iron-blooded mountains and rivers, Shotgun Boy and the War of Resistance. Chapter 1, The Boy of the Hunting Valley. In Qingling Village, a small village surrounded by mountains in East China, there lives a young man named Su Moan. He is the only son of Orion's Su family, and since he was a child, he has been accompanied by mountains and forests, and is proficient in the use of bows and arrows and shotguns. Mo Han's marksmanship is unmatched by no one in the village, and even old hunters often praise him for his talent. Early this morning, Su Moan was carrying a shotgun into the mountains and forests, preparing to hunt to make a living. There was a noise at the edge of the village, and it turned out that the nearby National Army garrison was looting the villagers' food. One of them, Zhang Wenyao, was a tyrannical officer who often bullied Aunt Zhang, a widow in the village. Mo Han couldn't stand it and decided to stop it. When Zhang Wenyao was about to forcibly take Aunt Zhang's food, Su Moan suddenly pulled out his gun and wounded Zhang Wenyao's shoulder with one shot. The scene suddenly fell into chaos. The soldiers of the National Army fled in panic, and Mo Han also hurriedly fled back to the mountains. This shot became a turning point in his fate. Chapter 2, Bloodstained Green Mountains. Zhang Wenyao was very angry after being injured and ordered heavy troops to surround Qingling village and hunt for Mo Han. The villagers suffered because of him, and Qingling became difficult to move. Hidden deep in the mountains and forests, Mo Han knew that he had become a target in the eyes of the army. At the same time, the iron hooves of the Japanese invaders were gradually approaching. The area where Qingling village is located is the front line of the fierce confrontation between the Japanese army and the Taiwan army. Seeing that the village was unsustainable, Mo Han decided to go out of the mountains and forests and join the war of resistance. He passed through enemy-occupied territory and went to the new 4th Army garrison. The journey was difficult, and on the way he met another key person, Lin Kei, a female doctor from Jiangnan, who was strong and wise, and volunteered to serve the anti-Japanese medical team. Chapter 3, The Blade that Infiltrates the Enemy Zone. The headquarters of the new 4th Army accepted Su Moan, a shotgunner with excellent marksmanship. After training, he was sent to the occupied area to carry out a stealth mission. The goal was to destroy the secret arsenal and traitor organization of the Japanese army. Behind enemy lines, Mo Han secretly operated as a mountain hunter. He assassinated a number of traitors who served the enemy, including Li Zhenbang, who had brought great disasters to Qingling village. Mo Han took advantage of his familiarity in the mountains and forests to move secretly, making the enemy unguardable. However, the Japanese army was not an idle man. Fujiwara Ren, a devil sniper, is a skilled and godlike marksman, specializing in tracking guerrillas like Mo Han. The two met many times in the mountains and wilderness, and started a life and death struggle. Chapter 4, The Challenge of Sniper Ren Fujiwara. Born into a hunting family in Hokkaido, Japan, Fujiwara practiced sniping since he was a child and became a feared sniper in the Ghost Army. When he received an order to eliminate the elusive devil of the mountain Mo Han, the two launched a deadly duel. During an ambush at night, Mo Han took advantage of the terrain and a self-made trap to push Fujiwara into a corner. But Fujiwara Ren is worthy of being a master of sniping, and after surviving death, he successfully counterattacked, making Mo Han almost lose his life. The two sides clashed several times, and the battle intensified. Fujiwara Ren gradually developed an admiration for Mo Han, and Mo Han began to understand the persistence and loneliness of this enemy. Chapter 5, Joining forces with the new 4th Army to attack with fire. The new 4th Army's top brass planned a heavy attack operation with the goal of destroying the Japanese arsenal and banknote printing plant in Jiangsu province in order to weaken the enemy's logistical and economic support. Su Moan was appointed as the leader of the sniper team and led the team to infiltrate the enemy area. Lin Kei is with the team and is responsible for medical and intelligence support. Su Mohan's team also includes guerrillas Tiger Girl and Iron Fist Chen Wei, who are adapted from bandits. Although they are reckless, they are loyal and reliable. In the course of the operation, the team encounters traps and betrayals, and the danger is continuous. Once the team was surrounded by enemy troops, and at a critical moment, Fujiwara Ren suddenly appeared and turned to help Mo Han and his party get out of danger. It turned out that he had decided in his heart to let go of his hatred and resist the senseless war. underscore 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 un. Chapter 6, The Rebirth of the Scarlet Dawn. The arsenal and banknote printing plant were finally destroyed, and the Japanese army was in turmoil. Emo Han and his companions gathered several bandit armies in the war and incorporated them into the new Fourth Army to form a new force. What's more, Emo Han found that many innocent compatriots were being held in the prisoner of war camp. He led the rescue team and finally freed the prisoners of war after a thrilling battle. This operation became a landmark victory of the new Fourth Army in East China, and also made Emo Han famous. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 7, The mountains and rivers are unharmed, and the blood is not cold. The smoke and clouds of war had not yet dissipated, and Su Moen stood on the top of the mountain in Qingling village, looking at the dawn in the distance. Beside him are Lin Ke, Tiger Girl, Iron Fist and Fujiwara Ren, these brothers and sisters forged in the flames of war. They understand that true victory is not only about repelling the enemy, but also about rebuilding the dignity of their homeland and nation. Our mountains and rivers will eventually be unyielding. Emo Han's tone was firm. In the torrent of history, this group of good Chinese men wrote a bloody epic of the anti-Japanese war with flesh and blood, so that freedom and hope will always be brilliant in this land. Chapter 8, Conspiracy in the Night. The brief subsidence of the fighting was only the calm before the storm. Emo Han and his companions knew that the Japanese army would not sit idly by. The headquarters of the new Fourth Army learned that the enemy was about to mobilize a large number of elite troops to regain the lost territory, and decided to launch a larger-scale intelligence and guerrilla warfare. Emo Han and Lin Ke were sent to the neighboring city of Jinling to conduct secret liaison and intelligence gathering. Although the city was occupied by the Japanese army, underground anti-Japanese organizations were active. Jinling is brightly lit at night, but there is all kinds of darkness hidden behind it. Emo Han shuttles between prosperity and shadow, deeply feeling the cruelty of war and the complexity of human nature. By chance, he met the mysterious intelligence agent King Hu in a tea house. His real name is Xiaoling, from Shanghai, who is agile and good at eavesdropping and assassination. The Blue Fox proposes to cooperate, with the goal of assassinating a high-ranking local Japanese military official, Kato Kimi, and dismantling his network of traitors. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9, The Trap of Weaving the Web. Emo Han and Green Fox began to operate secretly. In the day and night rush, the relationship between Emo Han and Lin Ke gradually deepened. Lin Ke is not only a doctor, but also has a keen insight into intelligence analysis, and has become Emo Han's most important think tank. However, the enemy's network is more intricate than imagined. Kato has more than one subordinate, and he is intertwined with the local power in an impenetrable net. During an intelligence exchange, the Green Fox suddenly disappeared. Emo Han suspected that he had been betrayed and began to investigate secretly. It was discovered that there was a traitor inside. It was actually Chen Wei, a bandit adaptation member who Emo Han had saved his life, Iron Fist. Chen Wei was resentful because his family was killed by the enemy, and he fell into the trap of traitors. Emo Han faces a dilemma: should he treat his old friend as a traitor, or should he try to save his heart? Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10, The Sword of Brothers. Emo Han decided to be honest with Chen Wei. He found Chen Wei and had a showdown in the wilderness late at night. Chen Wei's heart was painful, and his eyes were full of contradictions. Would you like to turn back and fight with us? Emo Han's tone was heavy. Chen Wei was silent for a long time, and finally nodded in agreement. Together, the two unravel a plot to ambush the new Fourth Army and thwart the enemy's resistance to the fighters' morale. This incident brought the Moen team closer together and made them understand that there are no absolute enemies in war, only souls that are used. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 11, A Life and Death Battle. As the intelligence network became more and more perfect, the new Fourth Army decided to launch Operation Dawn, a fierce attack on the Japanese garrison in Jinling. Emo Han was appointed as the leader of the assault team, responsible for storming the enemy's headquarters, destroying communication facilities, and ensuring the success of the surprise attack of the main forces. On the eve of the battle, Emo Han and Lin Ke stood on the city wall together, staring into the distance. Whether we live or die, we will protect this land. Lin Ke held Emo Han's hand, and his eyes flashed with determination. At dawn, Mo Han led the team through the fire net and broke through the enemy formation. Fujiwara ran and the enemy snipers in a final battle to the death. After a fierce battle, Mo Han hit the enemy sniper's helmet with a single shot, turning the tide. The enemy's command was thrown into disarray, and the main force, the new Fourth Army, took the opportunity to launch a full-scale offensive. Jinling City was eventually recovered. Chapter 12, The Iron Blood Oath. After the victory in Jinling, Mo Han and his companions returned to Qingling village. The post-war reconstruction was arduous, and the villagers regained their lives from the rebel. Fujiwara Ren decides to put down his gun and form an iron-blooded oath with Mo Han, vowing to work together to protect peace. Lin Ke founded a field hospital to treat the wounded. The Green Fox became the intelligence corps of the new Fourth Army and continued to fight against the enemy's remnants. Mo Han looked at the green mountains and green waters of his hometown, and his heart was full of hope. This land will finally usher in real peace. He whispered. The vicissitudes of history are still the same, but the blood and fire of these good Chinese men will always burn in the memory of the nation.